Imagine this. You're building a massive React application. Think enterprise scale with dozens or even hundreds of complex forms. Every piece of user input must be validated instantly, accurately, and in ways that go far beyond simple required fields. You need real-time feedback, cross-field checks, async rules like server-side uniqueness, and every action must be auditable for regulatory compliance. The catch? You can't rely on third-party form libraries, either for architectural control, compliance, or performance reasons. So, how do you deliver seamless, robust, real time form validation without cluttering your UI components or introducing black box dependencies? In this tutorial, you'll discover how to harness the power of Redux middleware to build a fully custom, production ready solution for real time form validation. No extra libraries required. You'll get hands on guidance to intercept validation logic at the state management layer, centralize your business rules, support both synchronous and asynchronous checks, and keep your forms scalable and maintainable across your entire organization. By the end, you'll know exactly how to architect enterprise-grade validation, prevent the most costly bugs, and meet the strictest compliance or audit requirements, while keeping your code base clear and under your complete control. If you want to lead your team with confidence, build truly scalable React apps, and future-proof your form validation workflow, this is the place to start. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a deep dive on advanced React and Redux techniques, because staying updated means having the edge now and in the future. Imagine building a sprawling city where every building must comply with unique safety codes, but the enforcement of those codes is handled by a centralized, transparent authority rather than leaving each architect to their own devices. This is the role Redux middleware plays in enterprise React applications when it comes to form validation. Rather than embedding validation logic directly into individual form components or outsourcing it to opaque libraries, middleware sits at the heart of the data flow, intercepting every action related to form changes. This central position allows it to act as a vigilant inspector, ensuring all incoming data meets the established standards before it even reaches the city's blueprints, or in this case, the Redux store. In this analogy, each building represents a form in your app, each safety code is a validation rule, and the inspectors are the middleware functions. By centralizing validation, you avoid inconsistencies and hidden errors that can arise when validation logic is scattered across components or abstracted away by third-party tools. In enterprise settings, where forms can become labyrinthine and validation requirements can shift with regulations and business needs, this approach brings clarity and adaptability. It enables teams to audit, update, and extend validation rules in one place, ensuring every bit of user input is scrutinized consistently before it influences the state of the app. This model is especially powerful for organizations that need to demonstrate compliance, trace validation events, or implement complex business-specific rules that generic libraries simply can't accommodate. Consider a relay race where each runner must hand off a baton only if it passes a rigorous inspection, checking not just its physical condition, but also whether it matches race regulations and even if it has been approved by an external referee. In the Redux world, the baton is the action, and the race is the journey from user input to state update. Redux middleware acts as the inspection checkpoint along this path. For real-time form validation, this translates into synchronous and asynchronous checks that occur outside the component, but before the data changes the store. Synchronous validators are like a quick visual scan. Does the baton look right? Is it the right length? While asynchronous validators might send the baton for a quick refereeing decision, such as checking with an external API whether an email is unique. This separation of concerns means your UI remains focused solely on presenting and collecting data, while the validation logic, both simple and complex, is systematically applied in middleware. The result is a robust, predictable flow. User input triggers an action, middleware validates, errors are dispatched back, and only then is the store updated. This pattern not only ensures data integrity at every step, but also enables sophisticated behaviors like debouncing validations, handling cross-field dependencies, and guaranteeing that only the latest validation results are reflected in the UI. For large-scale applications juggling multiple forms and intricate rules, this middleware-driven relay ensures every input meets precise standards before it ever affects the application's core state. This is the core validation middleware implementation. It intercepts field update actions, runs synchronous and asynchronous validators from the provided schemas, and dispatches validation result actions. This pattern allows you to decouple validation logic from components and centralize it for auditability and maintainability. This file defines the validation schemas for the registration form. Each field includes an array of validation rules, with both synchronous and asynchronous examples. This structure supports complex cross-field and async validation requirements typical in enterprise apps. This utility file provides core validation helpers for running synchronous and asynchronous validators on field values. These helpers are used by the middleware to process the schema rules. This file defines Redux action types and creators for updating fields, reporting validation results, and submitting forms. These actions are used throughout the app and by the middleware. This reducer manages the form state, handling field updates and validation errors for each form and field. It keeps the Redux state normalized and audit-friendly for enterprise requirements. This file configures the Redux store, applies the custom validation middleware, and integrates Redux dev tools for debugging. This setup ensures the middleware operates before reducers and allows for easy extension with more forms and schemas. This React component implements the registration form UI. It reads field values and errors from Redux, dispatches field updates, and triggers form submission. Error messages from validation are displayed in real time. This component acts as the app's entry point, rendering the registration form and any other enterprise UI elements. This is the main entry point for the React application. It wires up Redux with React using the provider and mounts the app. This test suite verifies the validation middleware's correct handling of synchronous and asynchronous validation logic. It uses a mock Redux store to simulate field updates and inspects dispatched actions. This is the main configuration file for the project, specifying all runtime and development dependencies, as well as scripts for building, starting, and testing the application. The application displays a prominent heading and scrolls to reveal the registration form, initially showing all fields empty. After a brief pause to highlight the blank form, the register button is clicked with no input provided. Instantly, a validation error summary appears, listing the required field errors for email, password, and confirm password. The error messages are shown both near each field and in the summary section, with clear indications of which inputs need attention. Next, the email field is filled with bad mail, an invalid format. Tabbing away from the email input immediately triggers a validation message, invalid email format. This feedback is displayed near the email field, reinforcing the real-time aspect of validation. The password field is then filled with weak pass, which does not meet the complexity requirements. Upon blurring the field, an error message appears beneath the password input, such as password must be at least 8 characters and password must contain an uppercase letter. The confirm password field is filled with different, causing an additional error to appear. Passwords do not match. These errors are also reflected in the summary. The user scrolls the form to ensure all validation feedback is visible. Afterward, the email is updated to used.example.com, which passes the format check but triggers an asynchronous validation. A checking indicator appears, followed by the error, email already in use, displayed below the email input, emphasizing the middleware's ability to handle async API-driven rules in real time. The password is then corrected to strongpass1. immediately clearing the previous password errors. The confirm password field is also updated to match, resolving the mismatch error. Real-time feedback ensures errors disappear as the fields become valid. The email is changed to uniqueuserexample.com, triggering another async uniqueness check. After a short delay, the email already in use. Error is cleared, confirming the address is acceptable. Now, with all fields valid, the register button is clicked. The validation summary disappears, and a success message is shown, indicating the registration was successful and that the form is ready for reuse or reset. To demonstrate ongoing validation, the password is changed to short, an invalid value. Immediately, the relevant error messages reappear beneath the password field and in the summary. The password is corrected to another good one, and confirm password is updated to match, which clears the errors once more. An additional demonstration involves entering pendinguserexample.com into the email field, showing a checking DAR indicator while the async validation is pending. After a brief moment, the absence of errors confirms the email is valid and available. Finally, the page scrolls to the footer and branding, highlighting the application's completeness and attention to user experience throughout the form validation process. You now have a practical blueprint for building robust, real-time form validation in enterprise React apps using custom Redux middleware, all without introducing extra dependencies. With this approach, you gain total visibility and control over your validation logic, making it easier to satisfy demanding business, compliance, and audit requirements. Integrate these strategies, and you'll deliver user experiences that are both responsive and reliable, giving your team the agility to adapt validation as requirements evolve. If you're looking to master advanced React and Redux patterns, focusing on solutions you can immediately apply to your real-world projects, be sure to subscribe. This channel is dedicated to accelerating your learning with actionable, enterprise-grade examples that will directly impact your workflow and professional growth. Take the next step and transform the way you build and scale React applications.